A wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her bare hands. This is why real men no longer bother dating the modern woman. Rainy vibes today. More and more men are waking up. And we have a societal problem. And men are not bothering anymore. They're not having it anymore. They're not dating the modern woman. So more men are remaining single. And in today's lesson, I'm going to explain to all of you why more and more men are pulling their energy back. They're waking up. And it's really the problem of society. And this problem really has arisen through social media, the modern society. It has created this modern woman. And this delusional woman that is rooted in the ego, this really has been developed through social media. You know, when you think of that biblical phrase, a wise woman is the divine feminine. Are you the divine feminine tuning into this? You might want to share this with someone that needs to hear it. And the foolish woman, the Jezebel spirit, the woman that's full of ego. In the modern society, women across the world, they're rooted in the ego, all right? And this really is a training that has happened in the subconscious mind through social media. You know, I'm talking about real men today. Are you a real man? Are you able to sit alone, pull your energy back? You don't need a woman to define you. So when you don't need a woman to define you, you're actually looking for that divine feminine. Otherwise, you remain single. Well, the beta males of society on social media, they actually created this egotistical modern woman. You know, there's plenty of women out there. They might put a photoshopped picture up of their backside or maybe their boobies or something like that, right? And they put it on social media, and all of a sudden they get like 80 beta males hit them up and get all this attention. And then they become an attention WHORE, and they expect that real men are going to do this, right? So they expect that they're going to chase them around. They get all this attention, and it is like a shot of adrenaline for a lot of these modern women. They get so much attention. But sweetheart, that's the type of weak-minded man that you are going to attract. Real men, they're not bothering dating the modern woman. Okay, a foolish woman that tears her own house down. Also through social media, misery loves company. So a lot of these, it's kind of a hyena energy, if you will. There's miserable women, and they will latch on to maybe a woman that has something going for you. Maybe you have something going for you, kid. But they implant these things in your mind. And men, they want a woman that's a real woman. Not someone that just goes out, looks a certain way, goes on social media, is concerned with everything else but her man. Okay, so a lot of real men have woken up to this. There's women out there, the modern woman, they're concerned with everything else. They're concerned about their nails. They're concerned about their image on social media. They're concerned about everything else but their actual man. And this pollutes that demented mind. You know, women are supposed to be intuitive, in touch with their spiritual senses. But when a woman is thinking with the mind and doing things that women naturally don't do, they're not thinking with their sacred heart, this is the tearing down of society that has happened. Okay, so when you have women coming from the rational mind instead of their sacred heart, these women are not going to be in alignment. And a lot of men are seeing what's going on in the world. And men need to be inspired, okay? Like me on my journey, if I were to have a girlfriend, that woman needs to inspire me. That woman needs to make me strive to be the best version of myself. Real men, you can't be looking over your shoulder in your own home, right? You know, men are here to build the world, right? Maybe you're tuned into this. You say, you know what? Yeah, it's a lot of work, and you're driven to build. Well, a real man doesn't need a lot of this nonsense. Men don't need to look over their shoulder in their own home. Real men need peace. So if a woman is not bringing the man peace, and he's a real man, not a beta boy. See, some of these beta boys, they need arm candy. They can't go out into society without latching on to someone. If you have true value, you're going to pull your energy back. If you're a real man and you no longer date the modern woman, why don't you leave a comment? You know, people are looking around and saying, you know, it's amazing how many men are becoming single and they're staying single. Well, the dating pool, I've shared this in a video prior, your dating pool might become a one of one. And it's not easy, all right? Men are waking up and, you know, to be stressed out, to have to look over your shoulder in your own home, to lose your home itself, to lose half your pension, which a lot of men have been suffering and dealing with. Men are saying, what the heck do I need this trash for? I'm good alone. I need to have a woman that is going to help me build my home, be the support system. Okay, a lot of women, they're worried about Instagram, they're talking to their friends, they're worried about their nails, so on and so forth, worried about their image, worried about the next thing that they could latch onto. You know, you got to be careful. You got to be careful of the Jezebel spirit. You got to watch out for the female covert narcissist, because some of these women, they're very manipulative, right? This is not the divine feminine. Never forget that quote. A wise woman builds her home up, but a foolish woman tears it down with her bare hands. What you got for me? What you got for me? This is out of alignment. It's out of balance. And more real men, they don't need this. They don't need this in their everyday life. So more and more men are remaining single. There's a lot of trauma that comes from this. It really is the case of what has happened on media, not only social media. There's a lot of these movies that show all these disordered relationships, cheating, you know, running around with someone else. A lot of these movies, all right, any of the ladies have watched any of these movies? Give some examples in the comments. This is building a subconscious program that women fantasize. They fantasize, right? And again, this is a societal problem. They fantasize about all these, you know, crazy relationships, drama, all right? And they romanticize that, okay? Real men don't need this. Real men need peace. Real men need the woman next to him, building, teaching, and leading, okay? If this resonates with you, you smash the like button. But there are many men that walk this earth without their stories being heard, and they walk with trauma. People are always asking, what's wrong with society? Where are the real men? And real men, you know, they actually need support. They need support from a real divine feminine, not gutter trash. And, you know, I've heard so many stories, and men, they walk with a lot of trauma, a lot of hardships, and they're told to shove it down, and it destroys them on the inside, and it's very hard. You know, we're looking for heroes, we're looking for builders, people to serve the community, but these men were hurt in a way, and then they had to overcome this trauma. You know, it reminds me of a story of a good friend of mine. You know, he was dating this girl, and it was like kind of a long distance relationship. She was a flight attendant, so she would only see him once in a while and, you know, do whatever she does when she's not around. My friend, he went above and beyond. He got a new place with you know, it was a little bit bigger, took on a little bit more because he expected her to come live with him. Bought all the things in the kitchen that she liked. And this, you know, was constantly, she kept, you know, taking flights and coming to see him and leave. And one day, you know, he said, you know, you know, when are you going to come live with me? You know, we love each other. When are you going to come live with me? You know, we discussed all this. And she punched him right in the face. And that was the end of that. My friend thought he had someone to love. he tried to build something for them, and he said, "I love you. When are you going to come live with me?" And she punched him in the face. My brother that's serving the community, serving the country, comes home to that. These are the real life stories. These are our everyday lives. The stories of men that try to do the right thing and they live their everyday life. And they've been hurt pretty bad by the modern woman, you know. So know that men walk with this. And for my brother, you've overcome a lot, and I'm very proud of you. And I've got your back till the end of the line. These are the stories of men that have been hurt and destroyed by the modern woman. I've shared some of these stories on the channel before. Some men, they've lost, got hoodwinked, lost their homes, their money. Well, this was a very interesting situation. And these are the stories that the world needs to hear, because there's too many men in this world that are hurt, and they decided to pull their energy back. You know, my good friend, he overcame a lot, and I'm very proud of him. And maybe you're a man out there. Maybe you want to share your story in the comment section. Why don't you share your story, what you went through? You know, no one really speaks about these men. I'm going to speak about these men. You know, it's very difficult nowadays. Men want love, and but you get to the place where there's only one person that you can't afford to lose. And that one person that you can't afford to lose is yourself. And this is the dilemma that many men have come to in a modern society. Okay? You can't lose yourself. That's the only person you can't lose. So dating in the modern world with the modern woman, it's become very dangerous. It's become an albatross to real men. Maybe not the beta boys. This video is about real men. Maybe you're a woman. Maybe you haven't messed it up yet. Maybe you have your catty friends yapping in your ear, telling you about these things, getting a hit off social media. Maybe take this lesson before you throw your life away and ruin your opportunity for a real man, the divine masculine. You know, it's interesting, the derangement syndrome when it comes to the modern woman. You know, you go out there on the dating apps. Well, my 3 kids from 2 different men come first, and you give 110%. What a moron. This is what goes on in the world. A lot of people, they're out of alignment. They're delusional. We're getting back to the basics. Now, this time period, we are cycle breakers. I'm here to motivate both men and women, okay? When you are the divine masculine, when you're alert, when you're awake and aware, you're not going to date the modern woman. And we are all cycle breakers, okay? You might be the quote-unquote chosen one to be a cycle breaker. And how do we break the cycle? Because there's a vicious cycle that repeats, okay? If you're a man, hold out. Never give in until you find that right divine feminine. As long as you hold out, you've done your part in breaking the cycle. And for the women out there, before, you go out there with your ego, get used and abused, maybe you're going to break the cycle and say, you know what? I'm not going to be concerned with social media. I'm not going to be concerned with ego. And maybe I'm going to go after the real man. All right? Everything is what it is. And, actually in the world, the weak beta male actually contributed to this situation. But this is a very alarming situation in the world. Let us know in the comments. Are you a man that maybe hasn't dated in a long time? You could say, wow, it's unbelievable. There's like 0 options because everyone's got to play a game. You might be terrified to go out into society and date the modern woman. All right? I shared this a long time ago. Any woman that treated a man as a business decision instead of actual love, that shit's going to blow up in your face now. It's time for the new. get rid of the old, okay? We're headed back to the basics. The old modern way that hasn't been working, okay, it's never going to work, okay? And again, maybe you're a woman, and I've spoken to women that said, you know what, I did this years ago, and maybe you could pass this forward and let someone hear this that needs to hear it. Because in this society, and again, this is a societal problem, that in that subconscious mind, in that ego, in that Instagram, they're getting all of that. But what is it worth? Your body's not going to be the same forever. Okay, all these women think this, it's going to be the same. All right, it's all going to be all these guys hitting me up. And then after all these things, then you want to come to the real man? Nah, sweetheart, we're good. Okay, if you're the divine masculine, say we're good. Break the cycle today. If you're a man and you resonate with this, why don't you click the like button? If you're the divine feminine, why don't you click the like button and share this to a woman that needs to hear it? What I do, I speak about the real problems that go on in society today. Okay, these are the real things that go on. Okay, we're not victims, we're not cookie cutters, we're not coddling the narcissist. We're speaking the truth on this channel. So if it resonates, please share this video. You could click the subscribe button. I do a daily video at 9 a.m. Eastern time to help you become the greatest version of yourself. And I discuss the real problems of society. I discuss everyday life people that, their stories need to be heard. So I'm so grateful if 1 million people share this video everywhere so people get this and break that subconscious program. If you're a man, okay, be comfortable sitting alone. Okay, you don't need a woman to define you. Okay, you wait, and you wait for the right divine feminine. And if you're a woman and you say, wow, how do I get a real man, a real, how do I not settle for a beta male? All right, you're gonna get thousands of them, sweetheart. You're gonna get thousands of them. All right, but this is the truth. If I spoke the truth today in this lesson, leave tons of comments. We have Facebook, TikTok, Patreon, Instagram. Utilize the hashtag OurEverydayLives because it's about the Our Everyday Life community and the people. And maybe your story needs to be heard as well. There's a lot of men in this world that are suffering in silence. Your high commander has your back till the end of the line. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going. Rainy vibes, but we transmute in the rain. It's a good cleansing. And these problems need to be cleansed. Get up, men. I love you very much. It's time for all of us to get back together, fix the subconscious programs, fix that demented mind, and get back to the sacred heart.